In medieval courts, there was one person who could do whatever they wanted. They could say whatever they wanted. They could insult the king or queen to their face. They could call out corruption or any of the bullshit that they saw, and nobody would touch them. No, it wasn't the knight, it wasn't the prince. It was, you guessed it, the jester. And right now in 2026, we're experiencing the most chaotic royal court in human history. And the ones playing it, the ones who are actually winning, they're playing jester, whether they know it or not. So let me paint this picture for you, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every medieval court had the same cast of characters. You had the king at the top, who did everything, said everything, made the rules. You had the advisors, who whispered in the king's ear, hoping to be in a position of power one day. And then you had the knights, the enforcers, the muscle, and then the jester. Now here's what everyone gets wrong about the jester. They think the jester was just some clown dressed up in a costume, jingling bells in front of the king, but that's not the case. The jester was the most dangerous person in the room for one reason and one reason only, and that's because they were the only person given permission to tell the truth. Think about that. In a room full of powerful people always performing because they don't want to lose their position of power. I don't blame them. And even the king was always putting on a performance to look as strong as possible. The only person who could say what they wanted was the fool. So there was this guy named Carl Jung who wrote about the trickster archetype. He said, no matter what, if you look at all of human history, everywhere had them. Europe, India, Africa, the Ottoman Empire. And he made it clear that this wasn't a European thing, it was a human thing. Since the dawn of human time, every society has to have someone who is willing to tell the truth without any repercussions. In 2026, the internet is a medieval court and nobody even realizes they're inside of it. You've got your kings, Elon Musk sitting on X like a throne, Mark Zuckerberg running Meta, changing the algorithm whenever he feels like it. These are all the sovereigns. And then you've got your advisors, the people with blue check accounts who everyone knows, millions of followers. And then you've got your knights or the enforcers, the fan bases, the people who do whatever is told, and they see a political figure or anyone who's on the internet and they say do this and they do exactly what they're told. Now here's where it gets interesting. Look at Clavicular. This kid is 20 years old, making over 100 grand a month, and he went viral for literally creating the word Jestermaxxing. And what he does is he goes to these clubs, acts like a jester, fools around, gets all the women, and the viewers cannot stop themselves from watching every single piece of content this guy produces. But here's the thing that no one's actually sitting with. The looksmaxing community where Clav came from is all based on looks. You're either a Chad or you're subhuman. I mean, this guy literally called the vice president of the United States subhuman based off his facial features. That's the king archetype. That's someone trying to propose a rigid hierarchy on society. But then the same guy goes to the club and starts Jestermaxxing. He acts like a fool. He does whatever he wants. He's with the women. And at the end of the day, this is what people want. That's why that clip went viral rather than the other stuff that's all, power based. Because at the end of the day, people don't want to see, all this stuff about being powerful or all this performance related things. They want to see people without putting on a performance. They want to just be able to see someone being goofy. That's what's entertaining. And it's always been that way. And this is where Andrew Tate or Sneeko fit in just perfectly. Andrew Tate, who's supposedly the king, and at least he was the top G, he was at the top. He was telling all of his fans basically what to do. He controlled millions of young men based off his actions, and people wanted to be him, right? It's attracting. Look, if you've seen Tate videos, which I'm assuming you have, it's very entertaining. Like, you want to be that guy. He shows a level of power that seems interesting to have. I mean, every king eventually falls. Tate's sitting in courtrooms across 3 different countries. The guy who said he's untouchable is spending his life bouncing around different courtrooms. That's not a coincidence. That's the archetype of the king playing out exactly how it's supposed to. Sneeko's even more obvious. This guy was walking down the street in Manhattan a few weeks ago, live streaming, saying some absurd things, and look what happens. A random stranger comes up, smacks him in the fucking face, and puts him in a chokehold. Every cycle gets more extreme with the king, because as a king, you have to always be constantly proving that you are more powerful. You have to show your power in a constant state of being, because if not, the room that you're trying to impress will start to fight back against you. So here's the real question. Why does the jester survive while everyone else gets taken down? And it comes down to one thing: ego investment. The king is all in. His identity is his position. If he backs down from being powerful, his whole brand collapses. That's why Tate can never back down, or why Sneeko can never stop escalating the situation, because the second they show weakness, their entire brand collapses, and they've built this identity that they're kind of trapped inside. Well, the jester has nothing to lose. That's the whole point. You can't cancel someone who's already acted a fool. You can't humble someone who never claimed to be above anyone. That's their whole identity, and that's why it works, and it always will. And this is the part that sounds counterintuitive, but it's historically documented. The jester was often the closest person to the king because they were the only person that treated the king like a real person. It's real, look it up. And it's because the kings got tired of everyone kissing their ass, and they wanted someone real who would tell them the truth. Now take this down from the internet to your real life. Most people are walking around with the same mask they've had on at 15 from high school, you know, the chill guy, the tough guy, the smart one, and whatever it is, and they're still wearing it at 25, 35 years old. The jester is the person who took the mask off. They don't care. They are themselves. And that's the whole point, and that's why they thrive. You wanna know the most relatable thing on the internet right now? It's not success content or motivational stuff. What it is being able to share the same confusion that everyone else has. It's about being lost, not having it figured out, because the jester is most of the time the only person who could truly admit that. Everyone else is trying to put on some performance. And the reason Jestermaxxing went viral isn't because Clav invented some new dating strategy. It's because people saw a version of someone on the internet not putting on a performance. Clav was being himself. He's just a goofy guy in a club, in my opinion. And this should disturb you because the internet created a word for being a regular person in a club, basically because it's such a unique thing. Like, that's weird. Why is that such an odd thing to see? With everyone now putting on a concert performance, trying to be the most productive version of themselves, you know, is hardworking. It's like, holy shit, we have a word for being yourself. And look, to end it off, one of the smartest moves you could probably make right now is to stop trying to be the king in your own life. You've all seen it, like this court, this system, this society's burning down. Don't try and fight the fire or live in it. Just admit that it's all a bunch of bullshit and be yourself. Do whatever makes you happy. Be goofy, be chalant. Don't worry about what anyone else says. With that being said, make sure you guys click subscribe, turn on post notifications, comment down below, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Let's get it.